social engineers controlling our society are using radio, TV, dramas, fiction to imply all guns are illegal. And now, using concealed carry, they turn it right into a privilege and go, yeah, you can carry a gun. You can carry a gun in these states. You just got to go get a license. Well, you can still carry a gun in most of those states, depending on a rifle or handgun, depending on the state, without the concealed carry. The concealed carry just means the government says you've been checked and they approve of it. What we need is Vermont-style carry. And crime rates go down on average about 24% after 2 years after one of these is implemented, because carjackers and people get scared. We don't have a lot of carjacking in Texas because we'll kill you. If somebody tries to carjack me, I'm going to kill you dead in a hammer. But in New York and Chicago and places where victims are disarmed, they do. So see, for other people, let me just show all the cowards, all the conditioned people out there who see those signs that say, report illegal guns. This is not illegal. This is my Second Amendment right that forefathers fought and died for. And this is here in case somebody tries to do a mass shooting or tries to attack me or tries something. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to defend myself. You may get me, but I'm not going down without a fight. And you need to stop being so gelded, so conditioned, so afraid of firearms. You know, just 30 years ago, 40 years ago, my dad going to public school, he would bring his shotgun to school. He'd go hunt with friends after school. He was going over to their house, their ranch. He went to a pretty big high school out in the country. He would take his firearms. And now it's a complete and total freakout. We have been domesticated, ladies and gentlemen. We have been turned into complete and total slaves. And it needs to stop. So, JT Coyote, thank God you weren't killed in any of this.
And thank God I didn't. They didn't hammerjack my front door, because there would have been a couple of them going out too. You know, body armor notwithstanding, I don't bring a pop gun to a cannon fight. And
to be clear, because you're saying you might not have known if it was police.
Say again now.
You might not have known if it was police.
Well, no. The direction they came in, I don't have access to the view. I've got my computer set up to where I can look out the front door, but I can't see the direction they came from. Plus, I have a view of all three entrances into the house. So, you know, and Alex, I have a couple of firearms sitting here, and they're loaded and chambered. You know, it's just, you know, there's no small children here. So, you know, it's purely, I'm a gunsmith. You know, you grab one of my old antique rifles, and that's enough to buy pay for your drug habit for a month, because some of these are worth many thousands of dollars. And so, you know, this whole thing could have gotten ugly real quick, and the sheriff knew that. And it's all because he did those guys a favor, those DEA guys a favor. They want to stop the drugs, stop the government from shipping it in. You bozos know that. Yeah,
but I mean, the issue here is, JT Coyote, is that you can't have the services. You can't just have a realtor in your house. You can't just have a plumber in your house. And not all of them are doing this, but the big outfits generally are. It's the big.
Well, there was deception there too, Alex. You've got to realize that our realtor was told that it would be one realtor and a hot prospective buyer, and it ended up being a group of Century 21 realtors. That right there is under false pretenses. So there's, you know, we're checking the legal ramifications of that, because we have the conversation between our realtor and this guy on tape. It was on an answering machine. So, you know, this isn't by any means over. These guys, there has to be some responsibility for people like realtors and carpet cleaners. You know, if you're going to accuse somebody of something and somebody gets killed, you need to pay. And you know,
they never do. They give them medals.
Oh,
well, JT Coyote, we appreciate the great work.
All right, buddy.
That you're doing. But stay there one more minute. I want you to spend 5 minutes talking about how crazy it is trying to moderate Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com, and PrisonPlanet.com.forum.
Everything we said came true. Everything we've done has been right.
Hey, look, folks, it's a good former federal agent. It's Joe Bannister here in studio with us. And he will be live in studio with us coming up in 1 hour from now. Got a bunch of news coming up. Joe, it's good to have you here. You know, I've got JT Coyote on the line. he was talking about he is a gunsmith, and the sheriff knows him. He's known in the community. Century 21 came by, saw some of his guns, saw a reloader, and described it as a meth lab. And so then the DEA SWAT teamed him over it, and thank God they weren't really corrupt, didn't plant something on him to legitimize it. They said, oh, sorry, and left. But, I mean, I keep trying to explain to listeners, this is an informant society now, and they've got people who think they're trained who are just looking for something because they're getting money off of it.
Right. And actually, I'm familiar with the story because I'm a big fan of your website. So I saw the article about JT, and then I've been just listening on the radio on the way here. So absolutely. And I just read the article about the CHP, the California Highway Patrol, enlisting drivers out on the California highways and byways to report out-of-state license plates.
Absolutely, as if, and then that gives them some, they think, legal tenuous thing to say, oh, we got a call about your car. California's full of foreign plates driving around. This is literally, I've noticed all these federal training reports and state training, they make it as broad as possible. Does the guy wear blue jeans? Does he have a cell phone? That's in these federal reports. I'm sure you've seen them. Do they have a road almanac? I mean, I've got one of those. Who doesn't have a road atlas? So it's just, do they have a libertarian bumper sticker? It's to get everybody tattling on everybody.
Well, that's right. In fact, before I left the IRS, I did a search warrant, and we saw a bunch of materials in this guy's house, and I had those materials in my own library because I was starting to learn the truth. So it's amazing what you'll see that you may possess yourself, and they consider it illegal and somehow a problem for a free society. So.
Listen, I was wearing a Minuteman shirt at the beach 2 weeks ago, and you would have thought I had a dead baby on my shirt. I mean, the people were, and I could tell it was cops, somewhat handsome, well-built, middle-aged with their wives walking on the beach. And because other folks would like walk by and not notice, you could tell they were cops, and they'd see it and kind of be scared just walking. Like I was about to kill them. Like, big teeth were about to grow out, and I was about to, just jump. I mean, what is their deal?
Well, I mean, typical of law enforcement is training, right? And whenever you get into a situation, because you're always supposed to be in a condition ready for a problem. And so I think they're automatically hearkening back to their training. And a lot of their training deals more and more with people like us.
And you see a tri-cornered hat, that's George Washington. You can't have that. All right, Joe, we're going to see you in an hour. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks, Alex.
Great to see you, bro. JT Coyote, just finishing up in 2 minutes. Tell folks how crazy, how many death threats, how many things you've got to erase off InfoWars and Prison Planet.
Oh, buddy. Between last Thursday, when the Virginia shooting article showed up, and when mine showed up, because a lot of people don't like me, because I will delete their stuff, and anytime I see them, they're gone. I probably deleted 500 posts off of InfoWars alone, and of those, a good 20% were bordering on direct death threats against the cop, or against me, or against the realtor of all things in that article. And, it just, people forget that just because they're anonymous doesn't mean that they can't be found. And when you make threats like that, you're going to be, you're hurting the forum. Now, the Prison Planet forum, the regular chat forum, where we all started out here a couple of years ago, that runs itself because the people that we have in there, we can delete people and make sure they don't come back. But the blogs are totally different, buddy. And
no, I know. It's absolute Wild West insane asylum. And it drives the site. It's really exciting in Wild West, and we're using that to build everything, but at the same time, we got to get some controls.
Exactly.
JT Coyote, thank you for all the great work you do, and God bless you.
You're welcome. God bless you too, buddy, and keep it up.
I'll try. All right, I'm going to get into a bunch of economic news on the other side. Then we got Joe Bannister coming in studio.
Finally in the news this evening, it's being reported that cyber spies from Russia and China have now penetrated our power grid. Even as energy experts are reporting that each summer we get closer and closer to the limits of our nation's power grid, some say that this summer's demand for electrical power may finally push the grid over its edge, creating a cascade of power outages across the country, putting us all in the dark.
Are you prepared for the next round of storm-related outages or government-created blackouts? Have you ever thought about taking taking steps to get off the grid and generate your own private supply of electrical power? If so, this will be the most important information you have ever heard. Solar-powered generators are finally available. They have no moving parts to wear out or break and require absolutely no gas whatsoever. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Check out mysolarbackup.com before you lose your power.